this is me, and I just got done watching Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And I would give it a solid 8 out of 10, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to create Mandalorian Season 3 out of Lego. So let's do this. Oh my. First up, we obviously got Episode 1. Episode 1 was a pretty decent episode to start it all off. There was a cool fight scene with the TIE Fighter and a Mandalorian Starfighter, but the scene I chose to make from this episode was actually the throne room looking thing. Kind of reminded me of Season 7 of the Clone Wars, but here's a reference picture of what that looked like so you can compare it to the build. But the build turned out pretty good. Of course, we have to add in Mando and Bo-Katan, but I really like the whole structure of the chair slash throne, I guess. It looks pretty nice. And moving on to Episode 2. Now, this might just be me, but I didn't personally like Episode 2. We obviously have one set now that LEGO has revealed that's coming from that, and that is this spider set. But I did the aspect actually LEGO didn't create, coincidentally enough, and that is the General Grievous looking robot. You can see him here. It took about 20 pieces to do it. I know the Ninjroid thing doesn't really work from Ninjago, but it's the best I could do. And then also we have the little cage thing that Mando gets trapped in, added in there. Overall, this looks pretty cool. We also got that new droid that Mando got in this episode, which is pretty nice. I just used a specialized piece instead of R2-D2's head for that. And then of course we have Bo-Katan here to save the Mandalorian, so she now gets the Darksaber. Now, Episode 3. At this point, I was like, oh no, is this show about to go downhill? Because this was a stinker. This episode did not have much to work with also for a build, but also it just was bland and boring. But the build I chose was the Doctor's Cubicle, which besides the ending of this episode, or the ending of another episode, I don't think we ever visit him again, but who cares?
Look at this dude.
Anyway, this build looks pretty cool, I guess. We got the Doctor-esque looking character. It's the best I could do. I didn't have many good pieces to represent him, but you see the little Imperial box there. His whole little cubicle looks very imperialized, but at the same time it's supposed to be the rebellion. But yeah, that was Episode 3. Oops. Now Episode 4 is one of the smallest builds, might actually be the smallest, but in my opinion it is my favorite build. This one is the flashback scene with the Jar Jar Binks actor actually, and to build this character I just chose to use a regular Jedi thing and add 2 lightsabers because that's what it shows in the Order 66 thing, and also Baby Yoda because that escapes with him. Now we have to build the escape speeder that is shown in the episode. For this, I tried to make it kind of like the 2013 set with Phase 2 Rex, and I think I did a pretty good job of that. We added the little parts so that Baby Yoda can, of course, join along for the ride, and I also added an angle clear piece so it has this cool flying effect, and this one really turned out good in my opinion. Episode 5 was the climax of a mini part of the series where the Mandalorian had to deal with these pirates that were trying to invade this planet. Now, it all came to a halt when the pirates and Mandalorians, or the Mandalorian cult, got in a big fight all across the city. So, of course, the coolest part of the episode I will be making in LEGO. For this, I tried to make it a cool angled type base with all these angled pieces and a whole bunch of beams to represent different levels of the fighting. Now, let's just add some pirates and Mandalorians. I also added the Mandalorian and Paz Vizsla in this cool little build. And yeah, this one turned out pretty good. Now for episode 6, a very controversial episode of The Mandalorian. This episode had Lizzo and Jack Black.
Say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Very interesting, but they also had Christopher Lloyd, and it turns out he's a separatist, I guess. The episode was pretty trash, I'm not gonna lie, but the one redeeming factor was the end, where Bo-Katan fought another fellow Mandalorian. So, let's make a cool building montage. Now in episode 7, it is revealed that Moff Gideon is back. But he is now apparently a Death Watch Mandalorian, or at least his helmet appears that way. So that's why we're going to be using Gar Saxon for his helmet. Now also here he had some royal guards with him, so I'll add that. And spoiler alert, but Paz Vizsla does die, and that is the scene we'll be recreating. So I thought a build that represented this pretty well was the Luke Skywalker Darksaber battle pack type-esque set. So that's what I'll be using for the main build here. And then of course, let's add in those minifigures. Now it's time for the finale. You might be like, wait, that's the build from last time. But we'll be adding on. So let's add on those sections. Now this takes place kind of in the same part as last time, and it was the biggest part of the episode, so that's why I added this. But we have one section where Baby Yoda is actually getting attacked from the royal cards, and the Mandalorian is also getting attacked there too. And then of course there's another section where it's Moff Gideon versus Bo-Katan. He actually ends up breaking her Darksaber in this scene, so she is without that, but it's still pretty cool. I also have this cool thing where it can swivel back and forth. But the scene doesn't end there. Moff Gideon does apparently die in this episode, so let's add in the flames. Yeah, overall, I think this build also turned out pretty great. And now, let's head to the outro. Well, guys, I've been working hard each week, making sure I keep up with all the episodes to make sure I can make the best builds for this video. So I really hope you enjoyed, because this one took me a while. And yeah, I just can't wait for the summer, guys, because I'll be making so many bangers then, because school will be out. So wish me luck on that. But if you really enjoyed this video, a sub would always be nice. And if you liked this one, I definitely encourage you to watch my previous video where I shrunk my Lego sets. Pretty cool idea, I guess. And yeah, remember guys, have a great day, and peace out. Bye.